Welcome to the practice activity on risk management. You can download this practice activity PDF from the resources section of the lecture. In addition, you'll also be able to download the risk register template as well as the risk matrix template that you need to fill for this practice activity. So let me go over the practice activity and then we'll also go over the templates, and I'm going to discuss how you're going to fill it. So in this practice activity, you will apply the concepts that you have learned with respect to risk management, including identifying risks, analyzing risks, as well as evaluating risks. So the background is that Smart Bright Academy is a private high school with 300 students and 40 staff. They recently started using a locally installed student management system on their school computers to manage attendance, grades, and parent contacts. The system is maintained by a single IT technician who also handles all technical issues. And then the school had an IT audit done, and here are the key findings from that audit. The system requires only a simple 4-digit PIN for staff login. The auditor confirmed that many staff reuse the same PIN across devices. Secondly, parent contact details are stored unencrypted in plain Excel files on a shared drive. Moreover, the folder is accessible to all staff, not just the admin staff. The IT technician backs up the database weekly, but he stores the backup files on the same computer as the original system. So a backup is done, but the backup is also stored on the same system. There is no formal policy or training on how to handle student data securely, and a new student enrollment portal is under development, but it has not yet been tested for security or reviewed by anyone else. So based on this case study, you need to complete the following. So there are two big parts. In the first part, you need to complete the risk register. So you need to fill in the risk register template, and the file is attached in the resources section of the lecture. So there are three things that you need to fill within the risk register, at least. Number one, you need to identify the explicitly mentioned risks. Now please pay attention, do not add other risks which you think could be possible, but which have not been identified here. Because otherwise, obviously, we can find so many other risks as well. But just to limit the scope, let's focus on the IT audit findings. Number two, assign a likelihood and impact score using the scales 1 to 5 as we previously did. You have to assign the risk scores, likelihood and impact, and there are some other columns as well. Let me just quickly show that to you. So here's the risk register template. Just zoom in a little bit from here so that it is more readable. So two things. First of all, we have the risk register with some of the key fields here, which you need to fill. And we also have the likelihood and impact scores. And what do they mean? Okay. So you need to identify the 5 risks here. So you need to describe the 5 risks here. Then what is the asset affected? What is the likelihood? What is the impact? And then the risk score for each of these 5 risks. Then you also need to assign the risk level. But this can be done once you have completed the risk matrix, which is the second part of the practice activity. But once again, you're going to fill in low, medium, or critical risk. And in the mitigation plan, you need to select which of the 4 strategies of risk treatment are you going to use. Will it be avoid risk, mitigate risk, transfer risk, or accept risk? So as part of this practice activity, obviously there are some subjective decisions, scoring maybe. But the general purpose is to give you a good practice on how you can actually take a case study, apply all the concepts that we have learned, and have a bit of more hands-on practice. Moving back to the practice activity. So we already discussed the risk register and the different fields that you need to fill. On the next page, you'll find that you need to fill in the risk matrix as well. So you need to create your own risk matrix 5 by 5. I've also attached a template for the risk matrix as well, which has some of the key elements already there. So first of all, you need to define the score ranges for low, medium, and critical risk levels in the legend. And then you need to assign scores to every individual cells in the risk matrix. And as always, we are going to discuss the solution in the next lecture.